Hello, Jenny Corbett here. I'm going to talk you through the second revision method from the Noel Academy revision strategy, and that is blurting. I'm going to take you through how you can use it in your lessons and help embed it as a good method for our students, and all the different ways you can adapt it for your teaching. Blurting can be a fantastic method of revision for our students, not only because it's quite visual, but it builds confidence quite quickly once they've gotten started. It can be quite daunting initially, so modelling it to classes is going to be quite an important way of embedding it with them. Process-wise, blurting is quite simple, so it's quite a short number of steps, and then it can lead on to quite a lot of important embedding with that knowledge. I'm going to take you through each step now. If you are using blurting in your lesson as a revision technique or to embed it as a method to use as a task, you're going to need some source material for the students to refer to. You're going to need some paper. I often use quite large A3 pieces of paper because they lend themselves to linking huge amounts of information. Pens, I often say to students, use your normal black pen and then maybe one or two just to highlight ideas. And optional, I say to students, this is optional, but I think it's excellent to have a few flashcards for the end points so that students have got something smaller to take away and work from. So step one is take your large piece of paper and have the topic title in the middle. That might be enough for your higher ability pupils, but you might need a bit more structure for students that will struggle with the blank page syndrome. Now, in the bottom corner of this slide, you can see just here, you can see there are a couple of templates. One of them is a template with a bit of structure in it that might guide students when blurting about a specific poem. There are other ones where you divide the page into what I know, what I need to look up, and what I definitely don't know. Quite often, if I've got a large topic, I will give a couple of keyword headings so that students have got somewhere to start from. But essentially, give them a blank piece of paper with the topic title on it. Now, step two is a timed exercise where students blurt. So they will start adding on all the information from the topic that they know that is in their brain. A lot of students find this part really daunting, which is why having subheadings will be quite helpful. Modelling this for students is going to be excellent for them, maybe starting off with some prompts or just showing them how to do it initially. I normally put a 5 to 8 minute cap on this, depending on how the flow of the room is going. I will put the timer on the wall so they can see that's how long they have to do it. And again, please reinforce the fact that this doesn't have to be beautiful. It's a blurt. It doesn't have to be beautiful. It just needs to be stuff that they know coming out of their brain and making it onto paper. From the brain onto paper is often the most tricky thing. So modelling is going to be your friend here. Step three. So the timer's done. They've put down all the information that they can possibly do. I let them then go and get a textbook so they can identify if they've missed anything. Like often students will miss out a whole chunk of a topic. Model this yourself. There's a chance that you will miss certain parts of a topic that you needed to include as well. Grab a textbook, a revision guide, and look at any informational topics that you have missed. Just look them up. Once you've found those topics that you've missed, encourage students to now add that information onto their blurt. And again, it might not look pretty. You might have quite a lot of disjointed information all over the place. Quite often when I'm doing this on the board, I will have a little column at the side of things that I missed, and I'll write them as a list. Also, things that I have gotten in the wrong topic or can link to another topic. I have a little linking list so that I know other blurts that I could do or ways I could link this to other blurts. Adding in that extra information, sometimes in a different colour, really reinforces what they did know to begin with and what they missed. Now, step 5 is doing something with this. So the first easiest thing that you can get students to do is to turn over that piece of paper fresh and repeat the exercise again. Repeat the blurt. What did they miss? Okay, so they've already gone through the process of finding the information. They can now add in that new information, or it could be a week later that they repeat the blurt and see what they missed. Or you might want students to then reorganize their blurt and make it look presentable. The other thing, this is quite often what I do in lessons so we're not having a repetitive activity, I will give them a flashcard and get them to write 5 to 10 questions about information that they missed, that they didn't have on their blurt initially, questions and then answers. This can then be used in a verbal piece of revision for students. And then step 3 is to make a linked blurt. So have you got the next unit content alongside that they can have a go of now that they have done it? So for example, if I had done a photosynthesis blurt in biology, I would now say, okay, now let's do respiration, and can we see how those would link together? Students, when they become really good at this, will be able to literally wallpaper a wall in the links between all of the topics that they have. This is blurting on a page, reasons why it's good. It's research ticks so that it's active, retrieval practice, all of that. Also how to do it. This is a good referral piece for you. Teaching blurting can be adapted in lots of ways. Like I said, initially you might want context clues for students, so like topic titles on the blurts or a frame, or you might want to give them a blank mind map and they then fill that in, and it gets them used to places that they can display the information. You can do quiz trade before this as a Kagan structure, so that students start really thinking about all the things they might need to include, but also you can quiz trade with the flashcards afterwards. You can use it as a Kagan strategy where students add the information as paired or in groups of 4. You can also do it as a mobile blurt, which works really well if you write in board pen on the tables the title of the blurts and students have to add information and move around the room. This gives them a way of looking at information that's already there, maybe that they did or didn't know, and then adding more detail onto it, and it gets harder as the activity goes along. That is blurting. Thank you for listening. Please do let me know how it goes when you try this activity with your students. Have a great day. Bye.